So, after that whole Berkeley Antifa thing that happened a little while ago with that Antifa girl getting punched, I keep seeing people arguing that anybody who is saying that the conservatives were justified in defending themselves are just covering for Nazis. Like, I really don't understand this. Are these people are supposed to be logical minded people, like skeptics within the skeptic community type people, right? uh, Reason and evidence. And I'm just wondering, like, do they watch the same things? Have they been paying attention to the same things I've been paying attention to? Because from what I can tell, the Antifa, Black Bloc, whatever you want to call them, they've showed up to literally like every right wing rally type thing. Remember during the election in Trump's rallies, how like mobs of thousands of people showed up to disrupt? Like, it's not, this hasn't been happening on the right. Like, the right hasn't been showing up to events to disrupt, right? You've all been paying attention to this, I think, and you've all noticed this. So, why are you getting mad at the people who have been getting attacked continuously? Like, all they're doing is defending themselves. And yes, some of them came with sticks and weapons and armored up because you know why? They knew they were going to get attacked. So I really don't understand. It's like these people have a hard on to hate conservatives. I think that's what it is. It's like they've they've too long been identifying themselves as liberals, that they have like an emotional connection that they can't, you know, disconnect from it. So no, I've even seen people say the religious right is worse than like SJW and cultural Marxism and like the current like climate of like, college campuses and these types of things right now. And it's like, are you really sure about that? It's like, how much power does a religious right actually have? It's dwindled considerably. Like, they don't control shit. And if you think they're as big as a threat as people who are, you know, condoning Islam and condoning shit like that and bringing more of those people in, then you're an idiot. It's not the religious right necessarily destroying your country necessarily or committing violent acts of terrorism, right? You can talk about like those attacks that happened, a few of them in the past with abortion clinics, okay, but how many of those actually happen? They're very rare, especially in comparison to Islamic attacks. And people are like, once again, they'll bring up America's statistics and be like, oh, there haven't been very many Islamic attacks, blah, blah, blah. But if you actually look at the body count, it's still way higher. And if you take into account there's only a couple percentage of them within your country, and if you were to extrapolate those numbers, increase it like 10%, or even 6 or 8, make it look like France, then you'd have France's problem. So, think about that too when you talk about statistics and you use comparisons and be like, oh, look it, they do more. Yeah, because they're 70-60% of the population, so of course they're going to do more. But what do you also consider terrorist attacks, right? A lot of things don't get considered terrorist attacks that should be, and some do that necessarily shouldn't be. And at the same time, what really matters is body count. That's what really matters. So, yeah, like I was saying, these people that are apparently supposed to be, have reason and logical minded, they are saying it's equivalent. Like that Berkeley professor guy, a professor that hit a student over the head with a bike lock. A girl going there with the intention to scalp Nazis. People, like, they've done this behavior multiple times before. So for you to say they're equally to blame, it just baffles me. And it's like these people, in my mind, are fools, and they're not living in the real world and paying attention to like, what really happens. Like, if you go there, dress yourself up as a Trump supporter and stand in the middle of Antifa and don't do anything violent, see what happens. See if you don't get attacked. Test that out. These SJWs are pretty much as bad as Muslims if you were like, a woman scantily clad and you go up in the middle of a group of Muslims. Like, you may as well do that. That's like the same thing. And you're now saying like the religious right are the same. Now, you can go up to religious right, with your breast bare and like yell in their face, and they'll just kind of like look at you and be like, "You're going to hell." So, I think these people need to like have a little perspective and stop saying they're equivalent, because it's really annoying. But if you like my content, subscribe, and have a great day. See ya.